Before I get started, I just want to state one thing to the Kingdom Hearts community. I am extremely disappointed. Extremely. I would have never expected, out of any community, at least to the slightest, any community, it would be the Kingdom Hearts community. Because before KH3 actually dropped, the Kingdom Hearts community was very, very, very close. And then out of nowhere, instantly, once the third game dropped, it burnt like a freaking pit of fire, turned to ash, and just blew away like they'd never existed. It's gotten so toxic. I honestly, I know for a fact, I don't do things like this. I don't talk about things like this. It's not my job. But knowing that not many Kingdom Hearts big YouTubers are really stating this, I wanted to kind of get my intake on this, talk for a little bit, and I want to put one thing into your guys' head. For anybody who's watching this that is not subbed or not, they don't watch me or anything, if you want to stick around, by all means go for it. If you want to sub, go for it. But for myself, I want to state one thing. This is not from the heart of a Kingdom Hearts fan. Oh yes, got it. Sorry, there's a bug that's been flying around. If you see me clapping, I'm trying to kill it. It's been getting into my ear. It's been bugging me. But yeah, and I'm sorry for the ear rape if that ear raped you guys. Yeah, this isn't coming from a fan of Kingdom Hearts. This is coming from a person who is a diehard, but I'm not using my diehard. Whatever you want to call it, I'm going to say fanboy, fangirl, whatever. I don't give a damn. Whatever you want to see me as. I'm going to state one thing, okay? Ready? For anybody who's wondering why I'm doing this, it's because of this right here, okay? Three, both PS3 games. One, two of these, and one of them, I'm going to state to you guys, I got it for my birthday when release, okay? And this one's scratched to death, so I had to get a new one, and I've been dying to play this one again. I have this. This is the game I use now. And a sealed copy of 2, okay? A sealed copy. God damn. You know what? I'm muting this. There. That's been freaking bugging me. Also, back here, I have a sealed version of the deluxe edition for Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay? That's just to show you. And I also have some merch. I'm going to call it merch. So, I wanted to state that I am very disappointed in the community. Also, for the people who only played 3, you have no rights in the world to roast the people who actually grew up with Kingdom Hearts in general. I'm sorry to say that, but you have no rights. If you guys don't like the fact that it does have Disney Worlds, you probably you never played the other games. The only one that doesn't have Disney Worlds is 0.2. Fragmentary Passage, I think. I probably butchered it. But the one with just Aqua, and you go into on the Realm of Darkness, and you just roam around, and then the secret boss is herself. Well, that's the only one that has nothing to do with Disney Worlds. That's the aftermath of Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep has Disney Worlds. You go to all 3 princesses and you go through it. Also, one thing I'll state, and I've heard this for months since the game released, people were disappointed that I had more Disney Worlds than Square Enix Worlds. And I'm going to state this right now. It has almost the same amount as 2. People love 2. All because of the combat and the fact that it kind of balanced out between the different worlds. Original and Disney. How are you so disappointed in the worlds? It has... So let's say it doesn't have Hollow Bastion, but it was as a cutscene. I'm not going to consider that a world unless they're going to use that as a DLC and they give it to us. We ended up getting the castle for I forgot what it was called. I know about the games, but I can't remember half the time. But it was the beginning of the story of Birth by Sleep. That castle that transformed. We got that as at least an explorable world at first, but we couldn't go outside. I considered that a world one way or another. We were able to wander inside of it, unlike before, where in Birth by Sleep we were able to see only the outside and not the inside. Where in this game for KH3 we were able to see all of inside and not the outside. So honestly, that's pretty reasonable. If you want to explore the outside, go play Birth by Sleep. You know? It might not be as beautiful as you would think. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get Destiny Islands as an explorable area like everybody else was trying to get high hopes. But do you see me complaining? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. I'm not gonna say I didn't dislike it. I kind of have mixed feelings. I was a little disappointed in the combat because it was still floaty like I normally saw it through trailers and people complaining about it. But it wasn't terrible enough to not allow me to replay it again. You get what I'm trying to say. Also, now we're going to talk about the people who dislike the combat. Can I explain one thing? I'm using lore in place of why the combat wasn't the same, but at the same time should have been the same. Honestly, it's a mix of the combat from 2 with the combat of 0.2. If that makes any sense. I wish Sora had dual wielding, but at the same time, dual wielding came from Roxas. Roxas was still in his heart, but was locked up. So there was no point for him to use it if it was for Roxas's sake. If you get what I'm trying to say. I feel like Sora doesn't deserve dual wielding only because now that we know that Roxas is going to be a playable character in the final world for the Keyblade War, still there's no point for Sora to have that ability as well. You know what I'm saying? As well as, I feel like if anything should be for Sora's sake, allow Sora, once he hits level 99, and as well as put it as a DLC, as an ability to go dual wielding, but you're not allowed to do Keyblade transformations. You know what I'm trying to say? knowing that it wasn't his heart, it was part of Roxas when he was doing the hooded dual-wielding form. That's why Sora got that ability. Because Roxas was transferred into Sora in 2, so Sora was able to do drives. But once Sora was able to control that, he wasn't able to do dual-wielding anymore. I don't know how to explain it without breaking it down. I want to explain more, but at the same time, you would have to play, what was it again? Dream Drop Distance. Play Dream Drop Distance to understand why I'm trying to say that it makes no common sense for him to have dual wielding. As much as I want him to have it, he shouldn't have it. You know what I'm trying to say? Nice. So, also, for the people who are watching this that never played anything besides 3, if you have a PS4, don't buy this copy and this copy. Buy the one on Amazon that's for $40 instead of paying for both of these. That's almost $100. It's both combined in one package. So if you were to buy both of them in one single box, buy the Story So Far and play this one to understand what I'm trying to say. But if you want to know more about Roxas, play 2.5. Okay? I'm actually generally concerned about the Kingdom Hearts community getting to the point where it will never be the same again. It's already split to that point where I'm generally concerned. So I was telling all my friends that the Kingdom Hearts community is at the point and at the breaking point that it's literally in a pit of panda shit. I'm not joking. I'm just stating that right now. So the people who are just lurking and going to people's comments on social media and stuff, just putting down dumpster fires on people for having fun with the game when they're generally having fun. And people are just freaking roasting them for having fun, all because they didn't like it. Honestly, I would have just stated right here and there, if you were in my stream when I was playing it, and you were roasting me for it, I would have either, if you didn't stop, I would have banned you continuously. 2, at that point, it's called harassment. And if I had some mods in my stream, I would have told every single one of them to legitimately report you. So the people who ended up going to Sarah Key's live stream on Twitch, and also the people who are commenting on her videos, you got her to the point where she doesn't want to literally record any more Kingdom Hearts stuff. She loves it more than most people in the community, probably more than I do. And you really just physically, mentally, and emotionally harmed her. As well as the Gamers Joint, which is the biggest Kingdom Hearts YouTuber out there. And at this point, he's also spoke about it, but it's not affecting him as much as others. But at the same time, he's a little bit concerned about the community more than his own content. For myself, I would have loved to grow on Kingdom Hearts, but I came in late, where they were doing things since like almost two to 4 years ago, maybe even more. The Gamer's Joint's been going out since the release of the first version of the trailer for 3, all the way back to like 2014 or 2015-ish. Maybe even later than that, to be honest, for his YouTube channel, but it didn't grow until that point where he was making theories on what was going on in the game, blah blah blah. I physically wish I grew on that. I really did, but at the same time, that's just me. I physically grew up on Kingdom Hearts, but for my channel, I grew on Mega Man Maker. But at the same time, I would love to make gameplay or gameplays, depending on how I feel, just put one gameplay or gameplays on my channel of Kingdom Hearts. But physically, my channel didn't grow on it, so I physically can't do that. I did it before and got absolutely nothing except for that one time with Roxas's Return. If you guys want to check that out, that was funny. Everybody laughed at me for that. My reaction was priceless. But I got almost 9K views on that, and then I have a whole bunch of different gameplays on like the beginning of the game and got absolutely nothing. So there was no point after that. So I would love to do it, but the community is getting so toxic, I don't even want to bother anymore, you know? I haven't done anything since Roxas's Return, and since then, I really haven't done anything, and I wanted to return back to it now that I'm becoming a full-time YouTuber, at least partly, and now there's just no point, now that I've seen that the toxicity of KH, the way it's going is just like, why even bother? Like, I know I did all the whole game, I beat the game, but the one thing I wanted to do, guys, for everybody who is in the Kingdom Hearts community, you're literally driving people insane to the point where, one, for the big YouTubers, I know a whole bunch of people absolutely despise big channels, but they can't help that. If somebody likes their channel, depending on how they take it, why would you roast them? They're giving their closest and most prized possessions dearly, unless they're like freaking Logan Paul or Jake Paul in them, where their personality changes when they grow on their channel. But the people, let me put in perspective, okay? Let me just talk about YouTube for a second, okay? Imagine if you physically made a channel and you grew as much as this guy named Leonhardt, okay? He doesn't change his personality at all. Does not matter where he is or what he's doing. He is a PokeTuber and he makes videos opening Pokemon packs. Imagine all that money going down because he needs to continuously buy Pokemon packs. But recently, he raised over almost $35,000 for charity for mental health, all because of a person that he grew up with in school passed away due to mental health. So he has almost, I'm going to say, almost 600,000 subscribers, and he hasn't changed at all. I could see if you wanted to represent, like, hey, PewDiePie, oh, Logan Paul, hey, Jake Paul, hey, blah blah blah. Just put in perspective that they're just a personality when they grow, because they need to have some kind of personality to keep their stuff going, to gain money to pay for their house, their food, their blah blah blah. it's just a game. You know? I can see if there are complete utter D-bags like Logan Paul and Jake Paul that are just using YouTube for money. But then there's the 4 people I just named. Almost 3 people. PewDiePie, now I'm going to state Markiplier, Jack, Septiceye, Leonhardt, and I physically wish I can grow because I would love to go for charity. That was my biggest goal and probably one of the biggest reasons why I made a YouTube channel, to see if people wanted to help out with charity. But because I'm so small, I can't do that. But besides the point, I just wanted to state that because there's some people who hate big channels, and I just wanted to state that. Honestly, for myself, I try to stay as realistic as I possibly can, except for in the past, I was hiding my inner personality until I stated who I physically was in the inside in a past video. But besides that, I'm just going to state one final time, I am very disappointed in the community, and I wish they would fix this problem, but at the same time, it's like trying to fix a freaking porcupine by putting the freaking sticks back, or I'm not going to say the word because it'll sound like a freaking swear word, so I'm not going to say it, but those little pointy things that when they get scared, they pop up and they have those spikes. It's like trying to put those back on their back. It just won't go back, you know? Unless something can physically be changed by being a patch or something to drive people back, or some kind of update on the DLC that's coming out, I think that would help too. But besides that, I don't see it getting healthier. I could just see it maybe dying down the toxicity just a tiny bit. But every community has some kind of toxic community, and it might get worse by the day. But guys, just keep in mind, okay? Kingdom Hearts, I know I'm probably going to use this other game as a represent of what I'm going to say. But just keep in mind of the style of what I'm trying to say, okay? Kingdom Hearts is a story where Call of Duty is a generation game. Like, it goes on and on and on and on. It's a war game. So Call of Duty Black Ops has 3 games, now 4. Where Kingdom Hearts has been out for, I'm just going to max it out to 15 years. It's been out since 2002. Keep in mind that Sora physically has been going through age throughout the years, okay? Listen to his voice from the first game, the second game, and then the third game. You would see a change. You would see a growth spurt. He grows up. You need to grow up. No offense, okay? Physically, no offense to the people who don't want to grow up. You don't have to grow up to love this game. You can be a diehard child and deep inside of you. If you guys don't like how it's played, don't play the game. If you don't like that there's Disney Worlds, either don't play the game or just skip the freaking cutscenes. You don't have to watch it. In the Disney Worlds, besides like cutscenes that are in the mid-range, cutscenes are just those certain spots. So if you skip it, if it goes to another world to have like a little conversation with let's say Xehanort and let's just say Mickey, without Sora there. They will do that. They'll have cutscenes split apart. So if you want to skip that Disney thing, that's Disney cutscene, to skip to the next one, they will do that. You can do that. Meaning, if you want to skip, you can skip. They allow you to skip for a reason. You can either skip because you already played the entire game and you just want to play it because of the gameplay. Go for it. They also allow you to skip so you don't have to worry about the Disney World's cutscenes. It's not that hard. It's very simple. It's just very stressful that people have to complain when clearly, if you like Kingdom Hearts and you like Call of Duty, why can you accept running on walls where all the other games don't? Meaning, after generations, they finally allow on Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm gonna say it probably started since 3, but you had 2 other games beforehand, meaning Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2. Okay, imagine if 4 didn't exist. Imagine if that as Kingdom Hearts 4. Okay, you can accept that there was no wall runs in Black Ops 1 and 2, but yet you can accept it in 3 because that was an addition to it. But how come you cannot accept that there's floatiness in 3 of Kingdom Hearts 3 when there was clearly nothing there since the first 2 games? And then allow the additions of all the other Kingdom Hearts games as the other versions of not Black Ops, but Call of Duty itself. For example, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty World at War, World War II, things like that. How come you can accept all that, but you cannot accept floatiness in 3? I want that. I would love that as an answer, but I'm probably not going to get that. But that's just my way of saying it, okay? So, the reason why I'm stating floatiness as the same thing as adding wall run is because there are both additions, because they had no other choice. I kind of like floatiness, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. It's still really bad because it's overpowered, but at the same time, they add one thing to Sora, which is blocking in the air. So through the time while you're in the air with the floatiness, you can block. I never used the mid-air block because I never knew about it until I watched a gameplay of somebody using that against the secret boss that's out since day 1 release. And I'm like, oh damn, I never knew that. There's just so many things that was an addition to 3 that's just like adding something to Call of Duty Black Ops 3, okay? There's no reason to hate, but there is a reason to dislike. I dislike 3. I don't hate 3. For example, for myself, the reason why I hated 3 is, for one, there was one chest in Frozen that was on top of a mountain that I went as high as possible, and I still physically couldn't get to it. There's just no way. And then another thing I hated was the fact that normal acted just like every other version of the game. There was just no difference between easy, medium, and hard. Or sorry, easy, standard, and hard. Critical mode made me feel like I was playing 2 again. Because they nerfed a whole bunch of shit. But besides that, it's like the other 3 difficulties just acted the same. There was no health difference. There was no enemy difference. The enemies attack the same way. There was no, like, if you were to hit somebody, the damage didn't do any difference. The health bars on all the enemies were the same, or at least one extra bar. Where if you were to play 2, I know I'm using 2 as an example because I played that more than any other game. Where Easy had most bosses up to like halfway through the game was like 3 to 4 bars. Standard ended up adding like 3 extra bars to a boss, and once you put it on hard mode, it's like you're going against the most difficult thing in the world, and it feels so relieving to do that. If somebody was to just hop into 3 without playing the other games on the most difficult thing there was, which was hard mode at that time, what was the point of freaking making it seem like you're playing standard? There was just no point. I don't understand that. But they fixed that with critical mode. But I wish they would have patched what was really the most frustrating thing in the world, which was that they couldn't just keep the same thing for at least... This is what I was stressful... This is the most stressful thing I went through, which was they couldn't keep the same exact settings for the most difficult of difficulties of this game right here. I didn't want the same game. You want a different feeling, you know? You want a different feeling per game. Whatever game you play, it's like saying, I'm just going to play Mario Galaxy and then jump into Mario Odyssey because I feel like there's nothing different. There's a huge difference. Huge difference. That was the Wii versus the Switch. That's like 2 generations before anything. There's no point to just jump, you know? Unless you're just going to go directly to Odyssey, then go for it. But no, this game right here, guys, I may be a diehard fan of 2, but 2 is nothing compared to 3, okay? These 2 games do not match, okay? This game may be right after this generation, but this is almost 13 years after this. It was time for a change, okay? I know that people wanted this attack style, but at the same time, we were given an opportunity to play something similar to 3 almost a year or 2 beforehand. We all played it at least once if we played the entire generation of games for this generation or saga. Whatever you want to call it, because some people call it generation, but no. I call it saga. I accidentally said generation, but they're almost the same thing, except for some people use it in different terms, okay? I'm sorry. But yes, it was time for a change, okay? It was 2005 compared to 2019. It was time for a change, and you need to live up to it. If you love the generations of, meaning the entire saga, that's why I said generations. I'm sorry for confusing some people. But if you love this, and you love this, and you love this, okay? Think about it like this, okay? Let's put this in order. There we go. This, Sora didn't know how to wield a Keyblade. This is why he was struggling, okay? This is where he knew how to use a Keyblade. This is where he starts learning how to use Keyblade transformations. He is now almost a Keyblade master. He should be a Keyblade master at this point. He also has learned the power of waking. Whatever that was, but I don't give a damn. If you guys want to explain it, explain it. I'll comment back. But there's a huge difference between these two games. There was a reason why this was different as well. You know what I'm saying? They tried mastering it to be the same as 2, but they couldn't. So they wanted to make it seem like they were trying to change it just a little bit more to act like they're changing it between these two. There was a reason for it. And I'm just going to say that right now. Okay? I'm done ranting. It's been 35 minutes, almost 36 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. I need to get ready to start taking off. And for anybody who is going to be watching this before I go live, I'll be going live with, I don't know yet, but I got something brand new for my chat for, they're called bamboo points. And if you start watching, even if you're lurking, you can still get 10 bamboo points per 10 minutes. And maybe if you were to just chit chat, you'll get an extra 15 on top of that 10. So you'll be getting 25 bamboo points per 10 minutes. If you come check me out, okay? I'll catch you guys hopefully soon, and I'll see you guys. And maybe sometime soon, okay? Also, Ragers out, and Keyblade Army, or Keyblade fans, I don't know what to call you, but I'll definitely see you guys hopefully soon if you stick around. And Ragers, out guys.